How can I be 10 times better at interviews? This is a question that every professional, every candidate asks themselves whenever faced with any upcoming interviews that they have. And we are going to share some insights on how you can get to improve on your interviewing skills every now and again until you land every opportunity that you come across. As usual, my name is Mary and I'm glad to be joined by one of our interview coach, Noella, in this conversation. Thank you, Noella, for joining in.
Thank you for having me, Mary.
Yes. Everyone wants to make it after that interview with good news or good report of you're confirmed for the job. Right. So how can we be 10 times better at interviews? Is being significantly better at interviews all about mindset shift?
Mindset shift can play a role in being better at interviews. Okay, like you said, we all want to make it. So having that positive attitude, having the confidence can transform your interview approach and leave a lasting impression. Yeah.
And just preparing your mind psychologically that, you know what, you need to go and make an impact during the interview. That makes me to ask now, how can I get to improve 10 times better at interviews? Maybe any tips you can share with us?
You can become 10 times better in so many ways. So the few tips that I'm going to share, number one is preparing thoroughly. Very, very important, and this goes without saying. So do industry research, get to understand the current industry trends. You can also research on the company itself, their mission, their values, also their culture. Yeah. The second way is by preparing common questions. Just get to understand what you need to incorporate in such questions. For example, tell me about yourself. What do you need to capture? Why should we hire you question? What is it that you need to incorporate in this response? Yeah. What are they looking for? Yeah. And then the third way is by using STAR method. Most people might not know this. So STAR stands for the situation, task, action, and the result. So just mentioning the challenge itself, this is like a structure that enables you to precisely respond to that question.
Just like capturing the mind of the interviewer.
Yes, capturing the mind of the interviewer. And then lastly, do a mock. You can do this with a friend, a peer, or a family member, mostly with the commonly asked questions or any questions that you might have prepared. Yeah, you can also approach an interview coach. Yeah, we also have coaches here in corporate staffing, including myself and you. Yeah, so those are some ways you can prepare best for interviews.
And these are things that we keep mentioning even in our previous videos, but sometimes candidates, we just overlook the aspect of practice. The more you practice, the more you practice, the more you practice, you're able to master. Because interviewing is a skill. And most people who have really learned persuasive communication, they get away with interviews very easily. What is your final advice to someone watching this video as we wrap up?
My final advice to anyone watching this video, just like you've said, practice, practice, practice. That is very important. Interviewing is a skill. I would also advise you to remember that interviews are a two-way street. As much as the interviewers want to understand whether you're the best candidate for the role, you yourself also need to understand whether this role aligns with your career goals. In terms of also compensation, the financial compensation, does it work with you? Yeah.
So it's basically going for that interview with the mentality of you're going to have a conversation.
Yes.
To get to know the employer, potential employer better.
Yes.
And them getting to know how well you are a fit to the role. Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you for inviting me for this video.
Great. It is very possible to be 10 times plus better at interviews, as Noella has mentioned, through practice and so many other tips that we've been able to share. And the beauty with it all is seeking for personalized coaching sessions, because sometimes as an individual you may not know the areas that you're very good at and the areas that you need to improve on, but from a coach's perspective you're able to know how best you can be able to package yourself and capture the mind of the interviewer. That is why we encourage you to reach out to us through the link provided below, and we'll be able to schedule a session with you for any upcoming interviews that you have, or even prepare you for future interviews. Thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one.